happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. As we got that View host, Sunny Hostin, practically begging for legal trouble as she gives what's arguably her worst take ever in this newest update, guys. And I'm excited to get into it. So we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And without further ado, let's get straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
MS-13 on his knuckles tattoo.
Oh, he had some tattoos that are interpreted that way. But let's move on.
Wait a minute. Hey, Terry.
He did not have the
do that.
letter MS-13.
It says MS-13.
That was Photoshopped. So let me
That was Photoshop. Terry, you can't do that. Hey, they're giving you the big break of a lifetime. You know, you're doing the interview. I picked you because, frankly, I never heard of you, but that's okay. I picked you, Terry, but you're not being very nice. He had MS-13 tattooed.
Right, we'll agree to disagree. I want to move on to something else.
Terry, do you want me to show you the picture?
I saw the picture. We'll
and you think it was Photoshop? Well,
Here we go.
Don't Photoshop it. Go look at his hand. He had MS-13.
He did have tattoos that can be interpreted that way. I'm not an expert on them.
To echo what Terry said, that image of a tattoo reading MS-13 was photoshopped.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
Obviously
they
photoshopped.
and it's done. It's quite
obvious.
obviously
Yeah.
photoshopped. And so
It's not even done well.
no.
Yeah. No.
But you know, we don't want to cause any issues. But what was your takeaway from
He doesn't even recognize his own fake images at this point. But you know, here's what I watched the whole thing.
Did you?
And I'm really starting to feel sorry for him. He's over his head. The simplest questions he cannot answer. He knows that only immigration is maybe where he's been somewhat successful. It's like, and then he turns on Terry Moran when he asks, "How dare you ask me a question I can't answer?" I mean, the guy is over his head, and he knows it. I feel bad for him now. Or as he would say, I feel badly.
I did.
Feel bad for Donald Trump. In over his head, this guy is getting things done. In the first 100 days, he's getting things done that Biden said wasn't possible. He said he couldn't do in 4 years. Give this guy, Donald Trump, a break. I'm so tired of these left-wing lunatics trying to go up to bat for a known criminal gang member, migrant. Get him out of here. He's right where he belongs, back in his home country.
Didn't feel badly for him. I didn't.
But that's the correct way.
I feel badly for us. I feel badly for us for our country because, you know, as an attorney, I always believed in the rule of law, and we've always said that this is a constitutional democracy, and we are a country of laws, especially the Republican Party, and especially this president. And when you talk about Abrego Garcia, basically here legally being taken and deported to El Salvador, and then you have a federal judge in Maryland that says, bring him back, facilitate his return. It goes to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court then says, facilitate his return.
Yeah.
Then you have President Trump during this interview saying,
the lawyers.
I'm not going to bring him back.
No.
I can, but I'm not going to. So when we talk about, lawyers talk about a constitutional crisis, ladies and gentlemen, we are here.
That's right.
We are in this constitutional crisis when you have the President of the United States on ABC News national interview saying, I am not going to do what the Supreme Court, another branch, a co-equal branch, told me to do.
Well,
I am terrified.
The constitutional
about that.
part is the due process, too.
There's no due process.
Right.
He was shipped. But there's also a judge's order that he's saying,
Oh
my
my.
administration will not follow it.
I
What do you do?
Give me a break. Sunny Hostin, excuse me, saying as a prosecutor she stood on the rule of law. What about the rule of law when you and your husband were committing insurance fraud? What about, does that not apply above that law? And then she's going up and saying that Abrego Garcia was here legally. No, this guy was twice deported. It started to be the trend with these folks that are becoming headline news that are getting deported. They're always twice deported, 2 different judges saying that he shouldn't be here. It was a criminal gang member. I mean, I don't know if she's seen that whole Tennessee Highway Patrol video that was recently leaked. We seen that, and the whole traffic stop from front to back. Even the officers that stopped them were like, you know what you got here? You got a coyote. This is a trafficker. He's got 9 people piled up, no luggage inside the back of this van. What do you think he's doing? He can't really give a clear statement. He can't let us know where he's going. He's saying he's going to Tennessee. Then he's saying he's going to Maryland. He's saying he's going to Missouri. This guy's all over the place, but these folks, these loonies, they want to keep going up the bat and defending him. It's so disgusting. They talk about due process. What about all these victims' families that were, brutally murdered by these illegal migrants? They shouldn't have been here in the first place. Due process. Give them a little bit longer, a little bit more time in our country so they can commit more crimes. That's what they're essentially asking for. Get out of here, Sonny.
Also, a judge's order that he's saying, my administration will not follow it. What do you do with that?
I thought that Terry Moran did a very good job.
Great.
And these are not easy interviews to do. And what stood out to me was 2 things. This MS-13 bit, because it seemed very clear to me, knowing Donald Trump, that he was not briefed that that is not a real image and that it was photoshopped. And that is a huge failure of his staff. If they are not before these interviews saying, sir, you should not reference that, this is not true. And it speaks to sort of a timidity of people not wanting to speak truth to him because they're fearful they may lose their jobs. But also, when it got into this issue of immigration, Donald Trump won on it in 2016 and in 2024. And for the first time, he's underwater. He's only got 45% on it. And it's because he's focusing on deporting people without due process under law. What makes America the greatest nation on earth is you get that due process. Donald Trump, of all people, should be glad that you're innocent until proven guilty.
They give it to him.
That system benefited him.
You get that due process when you are a citizen of the United States. You came here without due process. You skipped the line. Now you're asking for it to be put in a line on your way back out. Oh my, the nerve of these folks. You gotta be kidding me.
Except that he was found guilty.
But he got the process. But he got the process. But finally, he said one thing that is a glowing success for him, yet it's not what the White House is talking about. He's effectively ended the border crisis in 100 days in office, but he's not talking about that. Instead, they're making these frankly, really horrible videos of people locked up and in chains being dragged and deported without due process.
That little kid I mentioned yesterday, that 4-year-old boy who had stage 4 cancer, and they sent him back with his mother to Honduras without his medication. That's just cruel.
And also,
politics.
one of the things that are, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
No. It's actually kind of similar to what Alyssa was saying. I came at this interview through a different lens. I know what I think and why I didn't vote for him, but I was curious why, although his numbers are slipping, there are some people, and I'm sure we all know some of them or work with them or, are neighbors with some who really believe he's doing a good job. And it all came down to, it really did come down to immigration, but at the border. It wasn't the deportations. And I think the problem is if he'd get out of his own way and leave the cruelty and the inhumanity of what he's doing with these deportations and focusing on the numbers are 93% down. It's the lowest in history. If he just focused on that and fixed his process, I actually think he'd garner more support on that one issue.
Yeah, but he does so many other things wrong.
Well, I know, but the fact that it's right there.
Dismantling the Department of Education.
Well,
that's the one thing they still support.
All of the mistakes that they've been making, going into people's houses, going into the wrong house,
Churches,
deporting children
communities,
without their parents. There's a little baby she's 2, and she's now in foster care because they took her mom and dad. I mean, evil. It just, listen.
And they try to do this to jerk a few. This is a tear jerker. They're trying to, emotionally resonate with people and get them to relate on that level. But no, that is not how this went. The parents had the choice. Either they take their child with them back to their home country because obviously they were here illegally. And then they had a child here. Either you leave them here and let them go and, live and try to achieve that American dream, or you can take them back to the country that you're from with you. And obviously the parents decided they would be better off in foster care here in the United States than they would be back in their home country. It's as simple as that. Stop I don't like this. They always try to gaslight, manipulate people so bad on this show. It's a tough watch, guys. I applaud anyone who's made it this far, guys. Definitely thank you for sticking this out with me. So I'm not so alone because this is just so tough. Oh my, talk about cringeworthy.
Because they took her mom and dad. I mean, it just, listen, everybody wants a fair shot to come to this country, or used to. This used to be the really, we knew we had problems, but we were doing better than anybody else.
It's true.
The embarrassment of of America right now is that we are no longer the country of due process. We are no longer the
great
country
constitutional
that,
democracy.
no, you know, we're just not. We're in some kind of Twilight Zone thing. And, you know, again, it's going to be up to us. It's really, there's politicians and then there's us. And you have every right to vote the people who are not taking care of our democracy out of office.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. And then Whoopi talks about we have the power to vote these folks out of office. These are the same folks that we used our power, our voice to vote in the office. We wanted Donald Trump. We wanted his agenda. I mean, it was laid out very clear on the campaign trail. None of the Trump supporters, those voters we're not shocked. We're not surprised about what's being carried out right now. They speak about this crazy disapproval. I'm just frank, I'm not seeing it. You know, when I speak to my friends, I speak to folks, I go to the gym a lot, I go to the grocery store, and I'll see folks and we just start chatting it up about things, and I'm not hearing, that's not the top of the list for anyone that they're upset, they're outraged with what Donald Trump, his administration has been doing. They've had some great successes over these first 100 days, and I can't wait to see the rest. If this was any preview, a snapshot of what we're about to be getting for the next 4 years, oh my goodness, we're in for a treat, you guys. But definitely hop in that comment section. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking about this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.